part-time executive director of the Canada-Africa Partnership Network, of which the Africa Climate Action Initiative is one of the member groups. We are a network of projects that operate under one organizational umbrella. We do so because by doing so, we can share resources, we can share one set of financial statements and that kind of administrative overhead. And we can also share capacity and knowledge and ideas and work together to advance solutions to our common challenges and common priorities. So we essentially facilitate partnerships between Canadian and African communities, where the Canadians, on the one hand, are largely looking at revenue generation from sources here in Canada, also knowledge sharing and learning. And then on the African side, obviously, is the sort of the implementation of projects and sharing the knowledge and experience that Canadians need to really understand what's happening and understand the role that we can play as well. So we like to see the relationship, while the financial relationship is largely funding, identifying funding sources on the Canadian side to support and invest in projects on the African side. From a knowledge and solidarity and information and networking and partnerships and relationships, it's really a two-way street that we're trying to foster. And I think the Africa Climate Action Initiative is a fantastic example of that, of us coming together on both sides of the pond, so to speak, to discuss and advance ideas for climate action and mitigation and adaptation in African communities and globally. So Sarah and Katie asked me to join you this morning to talk about proposal writing. So this is one of the pieces of support that ACAI intends to offer to member projects. It's also a piece of capacity building support that the network provides broadly to all of the projects that we engage in. From a personal perspective, when I'm not working with CAP Network, I work as a consultant, working with NGOs here in Canada on project development and design, proposal writing, and monitoring and evaluation. So this is a piece of this piece is based on my experience outside. As a preface, my approach and the approach I'm going to share with you today is based on some assumptions or conclusions that I have come to throughout my career working with NGOs about what makes a successful proposal. So what are the elements that really make one proposal shine and more likely to be funded over others? And I really strongly encourage everyone to embrace a few, I think, key messages from what we're going to talk to today. The first being that institutional funders are essentially professional proposal readers. So the people who are going to be receiving any proposal that you design for your project have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of proposals come across their desks, and they're really skilled at identifying good projects that are well designed and well thought through and likely to be successful from those that appear to be more a proposal than a project. I'm going to elaborate a lot on that as we go through, but essentially they can tell whether you are sharing with them a project that you have developed because you feel it's needed and you've really done your homework and thought it through, or you've designed a project to answer their call for proposals. And that's a really important distinction. And proposals that are proposals as opposed to projects are not likely to be funded. So with that lesson in mind, what I would like to share with you today are the pieces that I think it's important for you to have in place before you start responding to calls for proposals, before you start sending any information to prospective funders. some of you may have some of these pieces in place already. For some, this might be starting from scratch. So I recognize that with so many of you on the call today, there's obviously going to be a huge range of experience and capacity and organizational development. So bear with me on that. And if you have any questions along the way, as I said, please do flag us or get something into the chat so Katie can flag that for me, and we'll try to address that as we go. So from where, what we're going to look at are sort of the two key components that I suggest to you you should develop in order to be able to successfully respond to proposals. We're going to start by talking about a case for support, and then we're going to talk about the project plan. And these are two distinct pieces. The case for support is about your organization, whereas the project plan are the details of a particular project you intend to implement. So we're going to deal with these separately, and we're going to talk about how those two pieces can be pulled together to develop a successful proposal.